know if you need stream key, by the way.
No, I got that. I'm just getting the. When I change the team, it doesn't change the people.
Oh, you have to do that. I can pull up the production thing if you need me to work on that in the background too.
No, I got that.
Okay, okay.
So we're good to go now. You wanna send us in?
Yeah. We're live.
Yeah.
And welcome everybody to Aurora Esports Week 2, our first match of the week between the Chipped Cuppa and the Quantico Quails. It's going to be me and Corey on the cast, and Corey's also going to be the producer tonight. And I believe we're about ready to go in, right, Corey?
You would be correct.
Nice. That was just load in. We get our first look at Nepal this season as a map. Now, Nepal versus Lijiang, I mean, it's control map, all fairly similar. Each individual point is going to be unique in its own way, but I think Nepal is a little bit more of a brawl favored map compared to Lijiang. Has more maps that sort of are reminiscent of that Lijiang control center and fighting around the tight corners. I'm interested to see how both these teams roll out. We have the Quails and the Cuppa both looking for, I believe, their first win of the season.
Uh, I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I know the Quails lost the week one. I do not know about Cuppa, if I'm being honest. I've been a little MIA for the last week, but
I'll double check the sheet. The Cuppa lost week one. A very close match, though. Both these teams had 3-2s. The Quantico Quails falling to the Purple Apes, the Chipped Cuppa falling to the Ramshackle Roosters. So, is one of those teams better than the other? I mean, we'll have to find out.
there's gonna
As
be a winner for sure.
yeah, there's gonna be a winner for sure. As fights started to break out around the point, Fedora's turret dealt with fairly early within the fight. And it's gonna be a Farah May on DPS versus Fedora on the Torbjorn and Raz on the Sojourn. And already Booney's being forced back, forced into an awkward corner. Muffin actually gets caught out. Wasn't able to sneak through that choke quick enough, and very early point advantage for the side of the Quantico Quails.
Yeah, if I'm gonna have to think that Elko knows that Fedora will be on Torb and is picking accordingly.
And Torb into Farah, I mean, you could just deal with the turret so easily, and then it ultimately gives you nothing. Right now, it's a suffocation from the side of the Quails. They're fighting from multiple angles, and Elko's already out in an early pick. One of the things that I was reminiscent of the Guangdong Magic Tigers playstyle is they picked Nepal against Sayori's, and they were just absolutely dominant on this match because of their Farah. They're just able to control space so well with the Farah Ram compositions. That's exactly what's happening here. This time with Skystar on the tank and Elko on the Farah.
Yeah, it's working really well so far. Elko's pretty much at the barrage, and Saikana has the coalescence to start off here. So it'll be support ult versus support ult. We'll see who wins this fight.
Yeah, Toast definitely wants to open up big here with this window, probably use it to grab space. Ideally, they'd pop it as close to the point as possible to control that area, but Saikana's going to go first with the coalescence. Window popped in response. Pick still falling in favor of the Quantico Quails as Booney gets his HP absolutely drained there. And now it's just cleanup for the rest of the Quails team.
Yeah, pretty good fight there by the Quails. I mean, they only use one ult on the coalescence, and they got a window as well. So 1-for-1 trade, and they win the fight. We'll take
Yeah,
that.
now Raz is going to be moving over onto the far. Fedora's going to swap to the Ashe. Obviously, more known for the Torbjorn, but his Ashe is definitely one thing to be respected. Raz on the Pharah, too, a very underrated prediction, but gets stuck in that Vortex for a second. Booney's forced to use ultimate as well as an ult out from Brew there. Injustice and Annihilation both used. The Chronicle Quail is just looking to clean up this fight, and that's exactly what they do. Nice ult usage and timing to secure the point 100-0.
Yeah. Uh, didn't really look like the Cuppas had much of a chance at any fight there. Probably the best one was the window coalescence fight, but still, it's very hard to deal with the Echo really anything. But the Pharah was especially dominant on that first point.
For sure. Now let's move over onto the second point here. Looks like a similar compositional idea for the side of the Quails. The Cuppa are going to try something a bit differently. Fedora's going to move over onto that Echo. I love that pick, predicting Elko to make the swap over onto Pharah, as he does there. The Pharah is going to be the first one to make contact. Some early damage at the choke, but Booney and the rest of the team for the Cuppa managed to escape through this choke already. So now it's just going to be an all-out brawl on towards this high ground position. Right now, it's sort of even. Fedora's doing a good job of putting pressure on Elko while simultaneously dealing with the front line of the Quails. And already it's an early advantage. Having this double fire composition for the Cuppa, there's really nothing to deal with it on the side of the Quails. I mean, Drew can send icicles up there, but they're surrounding the point, putting them in a good position, and they've gotten the trade onto Elko, but Raz and Muffin falling in exchange. Now Skyster a bit split off from the rest of the team. Booney trying to fight near this backside of point as it's flipping in the favor of the Quails. But they're going to step off the point. Hopefully they can jump back on and contest that. They do eventually get that contest and a beautiful wall out from Drew. That was something I was seeing from them in their match against the Purple Apes. Their walls were just immaculate throughout. And now it's going to be spelling some trouble as Elko's now on the Ash.
Yeah, Elko took an early departure from the fight, but comes back on the Ash. The Quails picking him up, managing to win that fight anyways, securing the point capture here. And they also have the ult advantage for pretty much 3 of them coming up here. 2 for sure.
Yeah, they love activating those coalescences early. You can build those about at every 2 fights, so the fact that Saken is getting those up so quickly allows them to just go in very, very aggressively. Raz almost gets blown out of the sky there. It's actually going to happen to Muffin off the back of another great wall from Rue. So now Raz and Toast just both stuck in a room against Saekana. Saekana's going to get some very, very good cleanup. And it's just looking like absolute domination for the side of the Quails.
Sorry. I just had a very funny sequence of swapping spectators there.
Do not worry about it. I mean, if that's what the
I swapped to 4 different people, and within a second of me swapping, they all die.
And then was one of them Booney jumping off the map.
I cut to
That's icing
Booney
on
like
the
as he
cake
was
right there.
screaming.
Yeah, but Booney trying to make this contestation on the point, but an amazing Blizz Annihilation combination out. And Booney's gonna get frozen out, a beat stacked on top of it for the side of the Quails. Looking like some absolute domination here. As now Fedora and Toast, not long for this world. Toast is still trying to fight the good fight, get a trade onto Paradox, but that's not even gonna be found. And the Quantico Quails will be picking up this map, barring any touches, and none are gonna come through.
Yeah, that was a very speedy map 1 there. I mean, geez. 0% for both points from the Cuppa, so you have to imagine they're going to be making some drastic changes for the next map here. I don't think they even want to fight.
For sure. And, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say this was, like, kind of expected, but I think people were definitely favoring the Quails in this map. There was, I think, even a prediction on the podcast that the Quails will 3-0 the Cuppa and the Sea Dragons will 3-0 the Lancers. I believe that's your team, right? Sea Dragons? Sea
Yes.
Dragons? Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah. So, I mean, you could argue that, maybe has them at a bit of a morale disadvantage, but I'd like to see the Cuppa, change some compositions around. They do have Strudel and the Law waiting on the bench, and even though they may not have the same player card on as the 5 players with the cup in their profile picture, I'd love to see them get involved a bit and switch up the composition and see if they can find something that works. Because all you need is that tiny bit of momentum, and you can start the ball rolling.
Oh, I agree. All it takes is really 1 map, especially in a best of 5 or first of 3 series. You really only need that 1 map to be the spark to activate some change here. And I'm gonna assume that the Cup are looking to make a big splash here, map 2, and tie it back up 1-1.
Yeah, Definitely agree. And they have their choice of map. They're actually going to send it over to Esperanza. I think that's an interesting pick. Feels like, Skystar on Esper can go that Winston route. They can go that Ramacho route as well. But if Funi, who obviously ringing for Yoda right now, opts to go onto that Junker Queen, it can give the Winston a lot of problems. The knife into the Winston as they're trying to escape basically you know, gives the Quails a very big problem and gives the Cuppa potentially a free kill on Skyzer. So we'll have to see if Booney opts to, play into Yoda's hero pool or some sort of like opt more to his own hero pool. I know Bringer's obviously supposed to mimic the hero pool to some extent, but Yoda and Booney are both so versatile that doesn't really matter.
I'm gonna have to agree with you there. I mean, I think the common sentiment for Booney the last few seasons is that um, heroes he likes to play and is trying to play are not really in the best spot. So I've seen a lot of ramp from him lately, but I'm gonna see maybe he'll bring out the monkey. Maybe there's an honorable monkey duel between Booney and Skyser here. We'll see though. As you said, Esperance is a bit of a questionable pick. In my opinion, it seems kind of like a similar playstyle as Nepal is in terms of hero selection. Um, like flyers can be very good in this map. I don't think Torb works that well, but they are swapping up the comp um, in terms of who's playing what role. So I'm a little bit optimistic for them to turn around.
For sure. We got Toast going over onto the DPS. Fedora's keeping the DPS. Well, the law is coming in for Muffin Lumps. So a bit of a newer look for the Cuppa. They may have played this in their previous match. I'm not exactly sure, but a newer look for them, and we'll have to see if this pans out in their favor. I do think that Raz is probably one of the most value supports you can have in the league. I'm not trying to take away from her DPS in any right, but if you're just looking at her on paper, the fact that she's I think like 3-4-ish, and she has consistently been playing DPS in the league and consistently providing great or consistently playing support in the league and consistently providing great comms. I think that is definitely a boost that they can add to the team there.
I'm gonna have to agree with you there. Um, there's a nice category of that, like as you said, like value support picks, like Raz. I think Flip Flop would fall into that as well, where they usually are kind of playing other roles as well as support. They're not really always on support, and so you kind of forget how capable they can be on that role, as you said, because they oftentimes get the short end of the stick going on to the even lower SR, aka more value roles, but a bit of a return to people playing that main role, I believe. I'm not totally sure about Toast. Um,
I can check the sheet on Toast at least.
that would be nice because there are a
Yeah.
lot of rookies this season.
Mhm.
I have sadly not read up on all of them yet, but I'm sure in the next few weeks I will know a lot more.
Yeah. So one of the things I was gonna actually mention is like Raz kind of reminds me of you, similar to like you guys are in the same SR spectrum, but you have this like really low DPS that you like don't pull out usually.
it's
I don't
it's
know.
a
Yeah,
struggle. No, I agree. I mean,
yeah.
no matter what I do, my DPSSR in comp does not go up. So
I mean that's what it's based off of. So I think
exactly.
DPS is a lot harder to climb on in like I don't know. Is that Masters Diamond for you?
Yeah, around there,
Yeah.
like the border between.
It's weird for me because it feels like DPS and like silver and like gold is easier to climb on, but then like once you get like up into like the plat echelons, it starts switching to support being easier to climb on for me at least.
Oh yeah, no, I mean especially recently with the changes that have been made and the patches that they've ran out. It's kind of like I want to say you don't really see it outside of like GM, where people play like optimal heroes and comps, and so you kind of it's kind of like a free for all of the players you get in your team, what heroes do they like to play, and that doesn't always translate to a cohesive team comp, especially like you said. You get silver, gold, plat, especially not. That's kind of just like, I like this guy, I'm gonna play him, type of vibes down there. And so, if you play only like 2 or 3 heroes and they're not good with the team that you're given, then kind of ends up being an L. So.
And just wrapping all the way back to the Raz Toast. So Raz and Toast, Toast is 100 SR higher on exactly on DPS and support, so they can switch roles just fine at any point in time, and the SR stays, like the average SR is going to stay the exact same. You see both of them did sign up for support main role this season, and I think both are shown to be like fairly good on DPS so far. So I love the fact that, like, Muffin was able to set up this draft that gives them a lot more versatility. But this time we're going to see Booney over onto the Ram. Skyster's going to go that Winston, and Fedora's trying to hope for the dives to come in on him and his turret, kind of baiting Skyster down. But right now there's not even a point contest from the chip Cuppa. They're just letting Skyster and the rest of the Quails push this. The moment that Booney drops down, Skyster's gonna go up and the fight's immediately gonna break out. Brew's gonna reveal the Sombra, but Toast is actually gonna delete Skyster straight out of the sky. Sort of friend versus friend there, as catches the pick onto Skyster and opens up the fight for the Cuppa.
Yeah, I was questioning, just Toast falls like the Rue. But I was questioning the choice just to have everyone sit in the bridge, but it works, I suppose. So I should stop questioning as much.
Skyster has actually a really nice dive over onto Raz, and now has infiltrated themselves into the backline, giving Elko and Brew a chance to really prosper, take the fight all the way back into their favor. Brew with that early pick onto Toast was just so valuable, because Toast wasn't even able to get back into that next fight. The Quails were able to take a 5v4 and ultimately take the fight away.
Yeah, I think you're gonna see some trouble from the BAP and the Torb, especially here, from the Cuppa into the comp that the Quails have. So maybe some swaps, but I think Rue is gonna get fouled. No.
I thought Rue was almost dead to rights there, but manages to escape out with a, some nice movement around the point, but gave Fedora an opportunity to set up with that turret. The duplication is going to come out early, though, or Matra of their own, and even though Booney takes out Skyster, there's still another tank you have to deal with, and it's Elko, somebody who is very experienced onto the role, not even going to need to build up that annihilation for him and his team, as the Quails are taking a more dominant lead on the map.
Yeah, they're probably going to get fast spawn here. No contest, I don't think. And so, bit of a devastating start to this map for the Cuppa. You're really hoping that they would come out strong and establish some forward momentum, but we'll see what happens with this fight. There's a lot of ults coming online for them.
These guys are just going straight into the battle. Elko has a nice little off angle. It's actually going to manage to catch the Law. Well, Toast finds Rue, so a 1-for-1 trade, but Raz is completely split off on point. Booney's not going to be able to help out, as Skyster props the Primal and has both the DPS of the Cuppa in a very, very precarious spot. Now Toast is completely zoned out. Law gets back, tries to get the steal, the save, but it's not going to be enough, as they're forced to regroup, and now Booney's over onto the Diva.
Yeah, I can't be the only one wondering if, they're just not playing like the monkey mirror. I do know that's one of Yoda's favorite tanks is Winston, so.
3-man EMP followed up by a Toast response with the overclock, but Toast is going to get stifled. Now Booney and Corey attempting to go on these dive targets. Segana misses the teleportation out and gets punished for it, allowing the Bond Booney to really set themselves up good, but Paradox is going to stack the beat on top of that, helping out Skyster, giving Elko a nice little angle to really fry down onto Booney, onto the Law, and multiple picks now in favor. For the Quails, the point's been pushing for most of this time, and they're fine just letting it sit there at 115-ish meters, because I mean it's gonna take 2 to 3 fights for Cuppa to even get that far, And with this regroup that they just made, they could even make that a fourth with a cheeky little engage here. Raz feels a bit split off on this back line. Booney's gonna jump up, try to get the peel for the team, try to get them back stable, and looks like we're reaching the even equal territory for both these teams.
Yeah, some ults coming out here. We'll see. Looks like it's going in favor of the Quails right now. Primal pop by Skyster to secure the kill. Taking a lot of damage though.
Yeah, Skyster's primaled into the core of Fedora and at least manages to get a few kills off it. So at the end of the day, that's all that matters. They may have stacked up a couple ults at the same time, but at the end of the day, it's going to be worth it. Fedora realizes now got to go over onto the Ashe. It feels like all the swaps from the Cuppa, though, they're so sporadic. They haven't really taken the time to think about the team comp.
Yeah, and the swaps are not really... It's on the same people every time, let's just say. I think they just need to try a different comp. Like, they might be good at that comp, but it's not working into the Quails specifically. I think the Quails are just kind of not even trying to, but their strong suit is just a counter comp.
Yeah, and they just stick to this comp this entire time, and it's working. Skyster catches Toast. Booney again in to try and get the peel, but he can never get any trades off that. Multiple support outs ult from the Cuppa, but it's just the respect of that. Sakana with the Kitsune Rush just manages to get themselves into equal ground, and Sakana actually finds a pick with that as well, and an absolute explosion from the Quails, leaving Booney alone on the point, D-Mexed in a very awkward position. They're not even going to need to stagger that when they have the bot pushed up this far. They're just going to clean them up real quick and take all the progress they can get.
Yeah, some more swaps coming out from the Cuppa. We got Toast onto Ash and Rez onto Kiriko, so more of a survivable comp here, less diveable as well, so let's see if they can take this next fight and, as you said, maybe another 2 or 3 fights and tie it up.
Yeah, above Raz on the Kiriko. She does get hacked and virus there, but with the Kiriko, you just have that sustainability, that extra, you know, ability with the Suzu. The Immortality field comes up online just a lot slower. So I like the swap because it allows them to just be a bit more flexible.
I agree. I mean, the teleport as well is just so... It's hard to put a value on that.
4-man EMP from Rue. And a beat stacked on top of it. Nobody's low. They're dropping the primal in here too. You could say this is over ulting, but at this point, when the opponents only have 23 meters on the cart and you've been just resetting to this chokehold, this neutral point every time, and just bringing the bot right back for an extra 10 meters. They're just layering each util, layering each fight win on top of each other, and the Ship Cup has just don't have a response.
It's hard to have a response. I mean, they're kind of fighting from their own spawn room for most of these fights, and so any momentum they gain is just kind of clawed back from the Quails.
The Quails just so disciplined with their utility use. A bomb and a high noon gonna come in, but they've already kited way past that. Set up angles all around the sides of the Cuppa. Booney finds Paradox. Booney also finds Sakana, so potentially being a hero in this fight off the double ultimates, engaging on the 2 split support lines. And the Cuppa feels like this is... I mean, I think this is technically their second fight win. Feels like they're first at this point. They need to string together a lot more of these if they want to put themselves into a fightable position.
I agree. It only takes, at this point, with the way that the ults are trending, it really only takes 2 fights, I think. 2 fight wins here to get around the same lane.
Those final takes are very difficult, but they have the ultimates to do it. The Bob invested early. Fedora trying to keep their life alive here, and it's actually going to be placed very well onto Elko, forcing him off that high ground, allowing Booney to just make these dives, take all the space. Now Rue trying to set up around the point, but it's scrappy from the side of the Quails. It's awkward. They don't have any ults to really respond or clap back with, so they're just going to go on the retreat. And if the couple can manage to find some picks here, Fedora and Booney enabling onto Elko would be massive if they can get this stagger.
Yeah, fast spawn taken here by the Cuppa. Still the old advantage is they don't have anything online for the Quails. They're coming up to a lot, but I think you got to take this fight fast and don't let them ult.
It's hard to take the fight fast when your beat's just blown away within seconds, and now Elko has an ultimate of his own, seals the Ashe away from Fedora. These guys are just allowed to go in. So at this point in time, Booney has to get out or die. With the seconds ticking away, it's gonna be a death for Booney, a very, very late death, putting... Oh,
He
actually
gets
gets
through
sprayed,
though.
so not that bad, okay. Booney potentially gave his team a bit of a chance. They gotta stop pushing the bot. Yeah, the Quails eventually now leaving the bot on this high ground position. I'm really hoping that they take these high grounds around, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're setting up, they're waiting for the touch to come in, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. The Lodge jumps down onto the point. The brush is dropped, but the Suzu's a bit late from Raz. Toast is back on the Tracer, and Seikano has a response also of their own. Paradox layering one on top as well. Booney doesn't get the repick off in time, and Esperanza's gonna fall in favor of the Quails.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure what happened there. They went in with beat and did not use it, but I don't truly I don't think it would have really mattered. But um, yeah, the big difference in these two maps here, from what I can see, is just the coordination of their ult usage. You'll see, like even the fight that the Cuppa won with their ults, they kind of just like tossed them in there without thinking, planning together. And it did work that fight, but you saw in that last fight, they kind of just they had 4 ults, I think, but none of them were cohesive, and it kind of just led to split target focus and split ult.
It's tough because as the Lucio there, you have to like plan to win 2 fights is the issue, and it's so
Right.
hard to win those 2 fights when you don't get a beat off on like 3 or 4 people. You know, you kind of need your beat to be like the team carrying fight at that point in time, or the map carrying fight at that point in time, and it's just like it just wasn't at that point. So or it just couldn't be. So either way, a very tough road for the couple to climb. I'm just really looking for this like next map pick that they have, because it felt like Esperanza was a pick favored more towards like a team when Yoda's in, and Yoda obviously wasn't in on this map. You know, it feels like the map where they go and they play Junker Queen. But if Booney wasn't playing Junker Queen on that map, you know, then why pick it if that makes sense?
I completely agree. I was thinking that after that first fight, you've got like you said, kind of like a map tailor made almost for them. And except you have a ringer, um, but I don't even think the ringer was the issue. I think they just didn't attempt the Junker Queen. They might have said, Yoda's not here, so let's not do it. Let's try to do something else. But if all you do is practice that map, it kind of with that comp, it kind of falls apart as we saw.
For sure. And now Cuppa are gonna move over to Blizzard World as their next map pick. I like this pick a bit better, but they're gonna actually do something a lot different with their composition. They're gonna move Toast over to the tank role, move Raz and Fedora onto DPS, and Strudel Muffin Lump support. What do you think about, what do you make of this comp? Because I don't think they ran this against the Ramshackle Roosters when they played them.
Um, gonna be honest, don't really like it. I think there's potential though, right? So
Hmm.
putting Strudel in a support, something that he played obviously, towards the earlier seasons, long time ago. Very competent on that as well, and I think shifting back to a more DPS heavy comp, with that, and then Muffin Lumps in on support, I think that's gonna be better for the comms as well. So you could see something like a poke comp. I think both Raz and Fedora are very well versed in the poke DPS heroes, so it could be dangerous. Starting on defense could be a full hold, but we'll have to see. I mean, the Quails play very fast and they play very coordinated, so it could be the end up here.
For sure. Yeah. I think the big question mark for me in this is, can Toast match Skycer on the tank? And I think that's like a very unknown question, like an unknown thing, quantity, I guess, because Toast has never played the tank, and obviously new to the league, and we haven't seen it to until this point. So it it leaves a lot of questions in my mind, and I know that Toast is very good friends with Skycer, and I was talking to I think it was Riddle about this. Like, if you've played with somebody and if you're friends with them, you get like less intimidated by them. So maybe this is what they need to really string some life back. I kind of hope it is. I kind of hope that the prediction that this is a 3-0 goes the opposite way, and the Cup are at least able to turn it around from one map. But we'll have to see as they're starting off on defense on this Blizzard World map.
Very interesting. I do agree with that take though. I mean, as in addition to that, it's kind of like I want to beat this person, kind of thing. But I think, like I said, but after map one, they need to make some drastic changes, and they've definitely done that here. So I think that could only be a good sign. You tried the other stuff for 2 maps, didn't really work much at all. So scrap it and do something new, and it could be big. I mean, Quails running out with a similar look that we saw with Monkey and Sombra. But a bit of a different backline on a break. I'm a big fan of on a break. And like I said, predicted rather, Poke Comp coming out from the Cuppa. And it's really comes down to whether or not the Quails can execute their dives properly. In my opinion, the break is looking quite delectable for the for the Cuppa here. So
Yeah, and you don't have that sleep or that biotic grenade that the Ana can provide here. So the moment that Muffin Lumps gets dived on, he needs to like kite back immediately. He should be obviously in line with his tank, but should not be up in front there. This very dangerous position to be standing in. Muffin already trying to take a fight early. The high ground is under pressure by Rue and Skycer. It's a coordinated split around the point where Toast is trying to control this main area. Skycer's putting up some coordinated dives on the back line. But so far, Raz, Strudel, and Fedora have done a good job of fighting this back, fighting this away. You have 4 players, and now Muffin's up there too. 5 almost all shooting at this one dive target on as Skycer.
yeah, that's
But
a lot of
now,
shooters.
yeah, it is a lot of shooters, but at some point in time, the bubble's gonna come into the right spot, and the advantage is gonna go the other way. Fedora does find Elko, but the Cuppa are still down. Toast gets hacked on the point, is in a very, very rough spot. Rue drops dangerously low, but managed to hold on to his life, and now Toast is just completely suffocated from both sides. Fedora doesn't have a way out, and Strudel did fall there as well, so it's gonna be a very quick cleanup of this first objective. The payload will start moving if you're a Quails fan.
Yeah, probably a lot of Quails fans left in the chat right now. But yeah, I mean, as you said, the second dive, the first dive attempt wasn't too great. The second dive attempt had a much better job of splitting off the correct targets. Took that first point with a nice, juicy, healthy time bank here.
And the Nano's gonna go out onto Rue, maybe setting up for the EMP, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. A 3-man, and Strudel's already fallen off the map, enabling the Primal to just take all this free space, no ults, really on board to respond for the Cuppa. And Toast is just kind of left to scramble in this position. Eventually gets jumped on, landed on.
Okay, that was pretty
by
dirty.
Skycer.
Skycer's putting on kind of a monkey clinic here.
And I don't know, it just feels like Muffin is just like, is the only person here like slated to deal with him. I mean, sure, like if you bob the monkey, if you flux the monkey, I think you can deal with it a bit more, but those come once in a blue moon.
Speaking of blue moons, there's one right now.
They invest both. The Bob gets sleeped on the point though, and it's just the discipline that's coming out from the Quails. They didn't lose anybody, and they immediately have a response ultimate. I guess I may have spoken too soon as Skycer does fall. But at that point in time, they already had the trade in. Second and Toast are going to go down. Okay, so now finally, I guess the Blue Moon does come. once in a while.
Yes, it does.
How
And
about you win the fight?
it was shining bright there.
Ooh, Rue going for a bit of an aggressive hack there.
Uh-oh. They're caught in unknown territory. Yeah, probably gonna try to set up the dive again. Probably a dry fight if I had to guess. You know, you only have the rally.
The overclock's gonna be procced by Raz. Attempting to find a head, almost catches Seiken off guard, but manages to escape with their life. Now Strudel's gonna be caught off on the background as Cuppa do push up a bit too far. Raz gets punished there. And Strudel's in a very awkward position, has to hang on to this immortality field. Multiple ults are coming out though. Paradox is now entering back in the fight with a rally, keeping Seiken up on this high ground. People may be saying it's the year of the ball, but for Toast into the Sombra, I don't know if that is
Many people are saying it.
Optimal choice.
I think this is more of a vibes pick, you know, like something's off and ball is the answer.
I mean, sometimes ball is the answer though.
Sometimes. I mean, ball's the answer right there, I mean, if you ask me.
That's true. I mean, if the sleep doesn't come in on Toast, he's able to get some nice cleanup there. And he's able to contest the point pretty well.
If the sleep doesn't come in on Toast, the other team is toast.
Yeah, true.
You're the ball.
It's year of the ball.
I think
Toast may be
before
the
it's year of the ball for them, I think it just needs to be a map of the ball, you know?
True,
they
yeah.
need one here.
Toast has some. I didn't even realize Toast has some clean ball tech. I won't lie.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. Looking a lot better on the
that high
ball than
ground.
the Sigma, or at least more comfortable.
Yeah. He did have 4. I was looking at this. He had 4 characters he put and he was comfortable with on tank, and ball was one of them. Actually, wait. 5 maybe. 5. Yeah. Well, actually, no. I'm looking at the wrong.
Ball
person.
was all 5 of them.
A ball is all 5 of them, actually. I was just looking at the wrong person. But ball is all of them.
Yeah, that's my narrative. That's what I'm fitting.
And Toast is kind of cooking. Hang on.
I'm telling you.
Fedora with a nice core. Seiken and Paradox now cut out. I'd love for some Saggers to come through here. I don't think they will. They're not going to, but... yeah, a nice fight take. Only 1 ultimate extended. Muffin has now moved over onto the Lucio here to maybe give himself a bit more sustainability against very precarious comp here. Rue is looking to get set up on this backline. There's a Nano and a Dragon Strike for the Quails, but I mean, they've made it to last fight territory, and that's very, very impressive for the chipped Cuppa.
Yeah, it
Toast
started
is
out
already
as
doing some
5
big
minutes.
damage. Nano's gonna come through though. A window on high ground for Strudel. Raz is already caught off though off a nice dive. Guru gets punished in exchange for it. So the trades are gonna be even. Strudel has to be very, very careful.
Oh, the save from Toast.
What happened? Oh my god. Is Toast the GOAT?
Toast booped Skycer off of the point. Ergo C9.
This feels like really reminiscent to me. I think it was week 2 that the Shanghai Sayoris went up against Fedora's team and Strudel's team last season. It was the I'm already forgetting the
Sleepy
name.
Slimes.
No. Oh wait. No, it wasn't.
That was
Strudel's
Strudel's team.
Yeah, it was Fedora's team last season. Rusty drafted it. It was Jamie.
Richfield Rats too.
Yeah, Richfield Rats too. Yeah,
Squeak
there
Wool.
we go. Richfield Rats the Squeak Wool. And they pulled out of like a crazy Blizzard World, so much so that we like the Surreys just like practice Blizzard World like every single time. I think it's just like the Fedora effect on Blizzard World, you know? Like you get Fedora on this map, it's an awkward map. He plays Torb, it's an awkward character, and awkward things happen. And the ball comes out from Toast.
Yeah.
And it just starts working, you know?
You would think, like, you know, I did say Torb isn't that great on this map. I still stand by that. However,
Okay.
you add in the element of chaos, a la
Yep.
Wrecking Ball. Torb becomes a lot more viable because Torb can hunt down singular targets and just chunk them.
I will say, you're probably right that Torb is just awful on this map. But it's funny to say that Torb is the GOAT, and Toast is the GOAT. And like everybody's the GOAT, you know? And I believe in it, okay? I'm in it. I'm in it for the ball. And look at this point progress right here. Have you seen a quicker almost one tick of first point? I don't think so.
I can safely say I have not. Toast is doing kind of unheard of things here.
Okay,
A
and also
trailblazer.
the sleep and the Biotic Grenade both missed from Seikana. So they have like a good little grace period here where they're just able to burn down a lot of resources. Nade finally comes back, so he's gonna be online too.
That would have been so juicy. Oop. They're not even. They're so scared. They're not even challenging. And Rugo
And the
does
moment they try to
first.
challenge, like they jump down and Ru goes down. A nice nade this time from Seikana though, but the picks are already in favor. And now it's just Skyster and Seikana just dueling. Skyster has to face like the music basically, and Seikana has to face Toast. And Seikana's Toast, you know? Like that's just what happens.
That was so interesting to see. I mean, nobody challenged Toast. It's like every time Toast slammed, it was just like, oh, I'm just gonna run away. But it's like you gotta shoot the wrecking ball. You gotta hit his line, so to speak, and just be like, I'm not scared of you. Go away. You know.
Here we go. Now we got Ru just permanently marking on Toast, but the damage advantage still going in favor of Toast here. And mines are already gonna come through. That's a very spread out mines, but that's gonna basically deny positioning on high ground. Skyster now has to be wary when he jumps up here, procking a few mines even as he goes. And Elko is gonna be enabled on the back line too. Raz in a very awkward, precarious position is gonna get caught out. But the payload did move a decent chunk, so in my opinion, if you don't use any ults here for the chip Cuppa, you may lose the fight, but the war is still winnable. You see what I did there? I worked really hard for that one.
That was good. Can you imagine if like the war room for D-Day and Eisenhower's just like, boys, it's winnable.
Boys, it's winnable, yeah.
I cannot
I was more
imagine
just
that.
saying like the war pun on like my own name
Oh,
too. But
oh,
yeah, that one,
okay.
yeah.
That's a deep cut. I didn't even get it.
Yeah, it's really deep, okay? But sometimes it just works out. Oh, Skyster gets absolutely punished. Maybe dives in a bit too deep, drops to the choke point, and Fedora does win that one. And it's like you said, like, the rest of the team just has to deal with Toast on the back line. And Fedora's just allowed to win his one against Winston. Paradox is forced to prop this rally very, very early, but a Bob does come in. That Bob can easily be kited off, though.
Toast.
In a very awkward position. Turns out that Toast is Toast. We got the Molten Core on the point. Muffin responded with a rally of their own. And Trade's still going in favor. Raz just holds his high ground position. Now just Skyster and Paradox left. And ladies and gentlemen, we might not be seeing a 3-0. Toast and the rest of the Chip Cuppa make it up to one map win.
Very nice showing. Um, the ball pick really turned the tide there. And, as soon as ball was selected from the hero screen, I don't know if they lost a fight after that. Truthfully.
Dude, I think that the Toast ball is just like uncounterable. That's my take.
Very interesting take.
I mean, I don't want to call it too early, but I mean, if I'm them, they've met all their playtime requirements, right? They got everybody in that they need.
Correct. Yes.
I'll just keep Toast in there, you know? Let them cook.
I'm gonna have to agree with you. I mean, it is kind of an Aurora rite of passage to take something that worked, change it up. But I would like to not see it here.
No, I
Oh, I thought my internet was going down. Well, War is left the. Oh, you back?
Oh, here we go. Now I got it. Okay, sorry, I'm back. Sorry,
Sweet.
chat. I'm back. All right, all right. As I was saying, I think there's a lot of misconceptions. I'm not even gonna say they're not even like, normal conceptions. They're misconceptions that ball can't be played on Watchpoint Gibraltar. I'm saying it right here. That's wrong. That's wrong, okay? Ball now has the ability to like do the spacebar thing up to Wait, sorry, my headset keeps dying, I think. Or something's just tripping. I don't know. Okay, either way, I'm gonna try to unplug this. Hope that's right. Ball can now do the spaceball thing up to high ground, though. That's what I'm trying to get at, okay? Ball, Toast's gonna go in there. He's gonna spacebar thing it, and everything's gonna go wrong for the Quails. They're gonna be like, what is this man doing? You know that meme where like it's a guy who has like two hands on his head and he's like, what's happening? And his jaw is just on the floor. That's gonna be the entire Quantico Quails after they see ball roll out here.
Arriving at Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Do you trust, Corey?
Match.
I trust. I think you kind of have to do that.
And Booney just took his leave. He knows. He knows that the ball's getting pulled out.
Running into a little bit of a prod issue with the sheet here, but that's okay. We'll just we'll go in. It's the same comps, same players.
Ready for battle.
So we already know what the word in the street is in terms of we'll play. We are seeing the ball, the return of the ball.
I'm telling you, you're the ball.
Yeah, I think Toast is trying to make map of the ball into ear of the ball, cementing his legacy here. Like you said, there's a lot of interesting options available for ball on this map now that the new tech has been added. You know, with the shortening and lengthening, well, just shortening the grapple, but
5,
Yarp.
4.
interesting. You know, the Onneberg backline did not work last time, but they're trying it again.
Stop the
Yeah, and you could argue it works out a bit better on this map. An early dive comes in, and Skyster just catch Muffin Lumps very off guard. But the ball with quick grapple up there, keeping the team alive. My main question is, when the ball drops down to the point, like, how you contesting that? You got Fedora as a point contest, you got Ball as a point contest, you got Raz just taking a bunch of angles. You got a lot of very, very, you know, very big options here that you can do, and points already been pushed a bit. Muffin's back. They've taken a nice high ground positioning around the point.
There isn't much you can do. I think ball can just sit on point, kind of like anchor, turtle it. But the Aura with a nice pick on Aurora, camping that health back.
Fedora's just chilling out on this low ground. He's allowed to push, and now the ball's enabled onto the high ground. Takes away all the space. By this time, you set up your back line. Raz, Muffin, and Strudel all onto this positioning. This Geister tries to go in, but a Dynamite hits him. He drops about half HP and immediately is forced out. Meanwhile, Toast with on the back line of the Quails, a completely different story. They're getting a lot of value there.
engage.
But Elko's gonna actually have this first ult. Gets the Ashe online. Looking to duel off this high ground. Muffin's gonna be the first to take the challenge, and with a nice shield bash, manages to take him out. But Skystar has an early trade onto Fedora. And now Skystar gets the second one onto Muffin Lumps. So the fight finally shifting in the favor of the Quails here. And eventually, they'll go completely in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing some decent progress actually from the Cuppa here. I mean, certainly faster moving than you think. And you actually did get clone out last fight, so Toast is gonna keep pushing the cart forward.
Oh no. Oh no, chat. May not be
So-
not be you're the ball for at least the next 10 seconds.
A slight road bump.
Sometimes you just have those bad weeks, those bad months, you know? But you come back better, you come back with the mines. And Muffin does fall early there. Primal does come out, and that's a very dangerous position for Raz and Strudel to be in the room with the Primal Monkey. They do manage to escape with their life, and right back out the other door comes Geister barreling through. Both hands able to swing Strudel out to the lobby. But now 5 ults for the chipped Cuppa. They have a lot to use here. Where Elko has second duplication online, Rue with the first EMP, but still not a lot of stuff available to counter here.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
The zoning ults go out early, but they've lost the people on the way. Their backline of Raz, Muffin, and Strudel just explode. And the Quails have sort of found something out. Like, you know, you let Ball terrorize the backline for a bit, you just run away and try to trade backlines. And this time, on Watchpoint Gibraltar, it seems to be working out a lot better in their favor. They do manage to get 2 outs, ult for 2.
Yeah,
It's still an ult advantage for Cuppa.
I'll take that ult trade there. I mean, it's gonna be hard to utilize the window or even get set up without the mines, I think. But they're certainly gonna try here.
Oh, and Skyster's really low here. Toast does clean up one. A nice move from Paradox, keeping Toast off this high ground position. But eventually they're going to drop down as well. But Bob invested on point. A very nice placement of that. That helps clean up the kill onto Paradox. And Seikona's just left on this high ground position. A nice leap though onto Raz. Maybe able to get that assassination as well. That's exactly what happens. Elko gets traded out in the process. And the Quails are holding onto this high ground position, but they don't have the number advantages in their favor, so they're gonna wrap themselves through this high ground. But you gotta remember, Toast runs through, comes in, gets slapped and antied, but manages to make it out with their life, and Fedora gets a nice head tap on Sasekana there. That gets a good trade.
That was a bit of an interesting turn of events. Just when you thought another cooldown could not be poured into Toast, they come back with a pick, and the card is more than halfway, and they haven't taken a fight yet. This is disastrous for the Cuppa.
I mean,
Not
it
the
feels like they're
Cuppa,
waiting
sorry,
for
the
this.
Quails.
Yeah, the Quails. It feels like the Quails are waiting for this like good setup position. And when they get the setup, it's great. Like Skyster and Elko just completely enabled in the back line off the hack of Rue there to clean up Strudel, clean up Fedora. And I mean, sure they waited for that. They got the point pushed up, but the second half of this second point of Watchpoint Gibraltar is definitely the hardest to contest when you have Elko on this high ground, when you have like the quad chokes that you can start to hold if you want. You have a lot of different options. Skyster is gonna go in here, and Elko's gonna be quick to follow.
Counterpoint. Ball pushes cards.
True. Oh yeah, I forgot. It's you're the ball. And then every cooldown gets dropped on the Toast. And then they don't have any. And then Elko gets almost, oh no, he doesn't get picked. But Primal does get forced. Yeah, he does. Primal forced. Strudel doesn't get the sleep off, or the sleep doesn't come through. And Skyster, even though he's extremely low, manages to hold on to his life. So Elko may have a chance to get back into this fight. A clean 5v5 to close this off. Remember last time, the Toast had the mines, can be big, but Rue with the EMP comes up just a tiny bit bigger. Nice cleanup in the room there. Nice coordinated dive from the Quails, leaving Toast alone, hacked up in the back line, praying to hold on to the Year of the Ball dreams, but is soon gonna run into Paradox. Enemies at all corners, pressure from all sides, still manages to get the slam off, but then every cooldown dropped into it, but he stays alive, keeping the dream. And counter rallies exchange. Muffin Lumps falls first with him. Paradox, the one contesting on the point. Raz dupes the rally onto main support. That's her main role. Will she come up big here? Toast drops a lot of damage down, a lot of util in. And now he's still contesting on this bottom side point, and eventually he's gonna fall. It's gonna spell disaster. But it's not game over yet, because we still have the back half of this map.
That was a bit of confusing sequence. They had what, like 3 ults they popped at the same time. You thought there'd be some more ground that they took back, but they really didn't. Muffin, the pick onto Muffin Lumps there, but it was quite good by the Quails to kind of secure that. that fight win by getting rid of the rally armor dispenser kind of presence on the point. And yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if the Quails can even like chip past this first point here.
Yeah.
Ready for
Definitely interested to see that. One thing I started noticing though is the Quails do feel a lot better, you know, on this dive. It feels like they're following like up on Rue's hacks a lot more, and it feels like when Skycer goes in, Elko goes in, like almost every time now. I definitely wasn't seeing that on Blizzard World. So I think their coordination has got down a bit better on this fourth map here. Definitely giving them, in my opinion, a bit more of an advantage on this attack side. If they can keep up this form, if they can keep holding this space, it'll be massive for them. Strudel has made the move over onto the Ana, though. That was midway through the defense, so we're
5,
looking to see him
4,
hit these big
3,
hacks when
2,
Skycer jumps into
1.
pressure, when Rue jumps into
Attackers
pressure. A
incoming.
TP across, though, for
Stop
the
the payload.
side of the Quails. And Rue's going to make the swap over onto Sombra.
Yeah, I think Sombra's kind of like the dam holding them back from the flood that is the toast ball. Oh my goodness. Maybe
Toast ball
maybe
still
the
moves. It's
maybe
like
the
an ocean. You can't dam the ocean, Corey.
No, they're certainly gonna try though.
With Rue so low, now Rue's actually going to be caught out by Toast here. And Rue's going to manage to keep their life off a nice health pack positioning here. Manages to get the hack onto the health pack too. And meanwhile, Toast is dealing with the low ground. Skyster's trying to make quick work of this high ground. A nice coordinated dive comes in. But Elko gets traded out. And now Skyster trying to control this high ground positioning. The turret's still in a very clinical position. Strudel hits a very, very nice nade there, forcing him back. But Seikuna and Paradox have already made their way up to the high ground, forcing Toast to roll out onto this position. Now dropping back down onto the low ground, but stuck in very, very dangerous waters. And has to back out quickly.
Yeah, Skyster getting anti-nated, and that'll spell the end of him, bro. Dive almost certainly be cut short because of that. And as we're approaching the 2-minute mark here, it's looking dangerous.
Is looking very dangerous here. I mean, the card has moved very far, but it's always watch point where these high grounds at the end of the map, or at the end of each respective point on the map, are just so oppressive. And Toast, I feel like, is getting away with just highway robbery. Rolls in, like, base out one utility, dodges a couple others, and just is able to survive and sustain for so long. And it's just so tough when you're just not used to dealing with something like that. Elko does find Raz though, so a bit of an advantage, but Rue gets traded out in exchange. Skyster's now stuck in a very awkward position. He needs to build this primal, and he does get it off in time. Mine's down on point though, preventing the progress for the Quails. Toast is very low, but the supports are down for the side of the Quails. Strudel's left as the sole holder down. As Raz does fall there, Fedora falls as well. Strudel eventually goes down as well.
Oh, but Toast is still up. Toast is
Toast
still
is
kicking.
still up. It feels like they still have like 99% of their team, you know? But it's Toast.
Oh, Skyster's so low. Oh.
Very nice anti-nade from Seikuna though, and a great hack follow-up. The EMP comes in from Rue. Toast forced to jump down on the point, forced to create so much space. The bomb is gonna be perfectly positioned though, but Seikuna's there with the sleep. No, it gets broken, and Seikuna pays for it. He's gonna fall on the point. Paradox now left in very, very troubled waters here, as they're just getting absolutely exploded on the backline side. Skycer manages to make some space.
Ball-infested
Paradox
waters.
still falls out. It's ball-infested waters, Corey. And Toast still wants more.
Oh, Toast is never satisfied. Always striving for more.
It's like you want to have your cake and eat it too. No, you want to have your toast and eat it too. You know.
I'm dumbfounded by the lack of answers they have for the ball. I mean, uh-oh, Rue is spotted. Uh-oh.
And final fight territory comes out. No ultimates. Primal close, sure. Nano close, sure. You can combo those two. But Toast is coming up on the mines and already setting themselves up in a really good position with it. The mines are gonna come through on point. That's perfectly positioned. But a trade comes in. Both the DPSs.
Oh my
and they
goodness.
attack again. Corey, what is happening?
They're just intimidated. Like, what do? Do you run into the ball? Do you run into the Torb, or do you run into the Brig? I mean, there's no good option there.
Play
So
of the game.
they're just like, you know what? We're not even gonna try it. We're just gonna not touch point. Understandable, really.
What do you do? I mean, okay. At first, like, you know, the first map, it was just map of the ball, you know? But at this point in time, you picked Watch Point Gibraltar as the one map where Toast can't play ball. That was the logic going into it. You need a map where Toast can't play ball. So let's pick the worst ball map, Watch Point. But then you lose Watch Point to Brawl. Or to ball. So it's Sarvasa now. But I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like ball is very playable in Sarvasa. Maybe not the most playable, but I'd say pretty playable.
Um. So, fun fact. I had a game last week with Muma on ball on Servasa, and it was doing quite well. So, you know, I think you might be right. Like, obviously, it's not the most, you know, what how would you say it? It's not the most standard.
Optimal?
Yeah, it's not the most standard
Yeah.
approach.
Meta, you could go with?
Right.
Yeah.
But the meta approach has been losing the maps, and the ball approach has been winning them 2 in a row. It's hard to. It's hard, you know. Both teams are attempting fate here. Like, do you want to get reverse swept to a ball, or do you want to be like, you know what? We're actually the better team. We're the stronger team, and we'll show you by winning this map 5 and closing out 3-2. But
I mean, is Toast going to give him a choice, though? That's the question.
I don't think so.
Oh, Toast needs a bio. Dude, give this man his bio.
Wow. It's been quite. I don't know. It's been quite a good showing, and I think in addition to how well the ball played, I think it's just it works better for what you must say it, like their play styles and just like their morale. I'm not having to worry about because you think back to map 1 and 2. I think the Quails were just kind of beating them in terms of coordination. Remove the aspect of necessary coordination. You know, running ball, torp, bash, break.
Mhm,
You're kind of just like you can all do your own thing. You just gotta make sure you get healed up.
mhm.
They've been thriving under that format, and I think they're probably gonna go back to it for Servasa here. Close out map 5, and honestly, I think it's pretty even here. Like, obviously, the Quails were looking pretty much untouchable in the first 2 maps, but they've kind of crumbled since then. Not something you would expect, especially with the pedigree of Outgo here.
And yeah, I'm kind of looking at Skystar on the Winston right now. I feel like Winston is, correct me if I'm wrong, not the optimal pick if you're trying to deal with a ball.
No,
Yeah.
no,
And he has a great ram too.
yeah.
And I think that is at least, you know, maybe a tiny bit more optimal. You can set Rue onto the Mei, and you still get that, like, you know, effect of the hack with the slow that you get from the Mei freeze. Like, you can do some serious damage to ball and at least take Toast out for, like, a bit of the fight with another composition that you've run up until this point. Like, I kind of like that option rather than the Winston Echo Sombra dive here. But we'll actually have to see what the Quails want to go with.
I don't know what you've been doing. I mean, I'm not too sure if Skystar has more tricks up his sleeve other than Ram and Winston. Like, personally, I really think Junker Queen, obviously Roadhog is good ball, but like I think Junker Queen, especially like if you think about how it works on Servasa specifically, Junker Queen is very, very lethal in the ball. But and I correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Skystars play a lot of Junker Queen previous seasons, right?
I I'm pretty sure that Skystar has the JQ in him.
Yeah, so I think that's the obvious pivot you go here. You don't really have to change up much of the other heroes. Sakana Paradox backline was doing really well on the for Lucy. You just map 5 win because the original comp for the Cuppa for Host Tank, I think, Oak, right? So not really an option on this map.
Oh, Skyzer 100% has that JQ in him. There's some people, in my opinion, who have the JQ in them, and there's some people that don't have the JQ in them. All right. Skyzer, I think, is somebody who has that JQ in him. So I like what you said about the JQ. I'd love to see them go JQ. I think Ram would be good here. Just not not the Winston, please. That's all I beg.
Not Winston. Ah.
Ah, Winton Overwatch.
What will it be? Ram.
Ready for battle.
Okay, I'm okay with that. Yeah. Oh, I'm more interested on the side of the Cuppa. Are they cooking the pharmacy up? The strudel? No, they aren't. Okay,
Surely
okay.
not. I did it.
The what is it? The 3.8K pocket? It's big. It's big. Trust.
I don't know if I'd go with.
3, 2,
You haven't seen Jack on Mercy. 3.4K pocket. Dangerous. 3.8K. Must be even better.
Yeah, I think they're going for the full ball bus comp here. With the Reaper, Ram, May. They're really trying to not let Toast play the game. But you put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you still gotta worry about Fedora and Raz. Like, you have a Pharah you have to deal with, and you're on May, Reaper, Ramatra. Raz just needs to find a high ground position to hang out on, and then time her damage with Toast's roll-throughs. Right now, the point is gonna flip in favor of the Quails, but no trades have been found so far. The coast range composition of the Quails is really only going to be good for this high ground. The moment that Skyster drops down, it enables Raz just sneak up on this backside of first point. Paradox is going to be the first to fall, and Raz has just taken such a dominant position around this point. Fedora has the turret set up. The damage is coming through. Skyster's trying to contest. A nice roll out from Rue to try and zone off the healing from Strudel, but an immortality field comes in. The health is there, and the damage is definitely following through as Paradox the last to fall on the hero touch.
Oh goodness.
And the ults are just so good, Corey.
I think the eggs are in the basket. And they might be cracking here. I mean, I don't know.
And at this point, like, they're not switching the composition to a hit scan to deal with Raz.
No, exactly. Like, they really went all in on killing the ball, but the ball didn't even die.
And now the fact that they have the point, they're able to just cycle this ball contest over and over and over again. The mines do go a bit far back though. And Toast is in a very dangerous position. But he's just able to jump back on point and get this contestation, reset the point. Meanwhile, Skyster and Seikana do run over Raz and Muffin on the front line. But Toast is still cycling this.
Oh my
Manages to get the kill. The trade is there. Can Toast get back to point in time and touch? Is the question. No, he cannot. And now this leaves Fedora in a fairly precarious position. The turret does fall down, but Toast is going to be right there for that peel. But Fedora's still going to fall though. So dangerous waters now for this Cuppa as they're going to need to take this final fight down one.
Yeah, I think you want to get back in time, get the ball to stall the point a little bit, and then use your ults to try to salvage this.
But again, in this composition, it's really hard for Toast to get that ideal stall here. The beat comes in at the perfect time to counter Raz's ultimates. And Paradox with a great play to really save the story there. They finally catch Toast, they finally catch Strudel. And now the pick's in their favor. The Cuppa really have to respawn and take a completely different fight here.
Yeah, Fedora Master over to the Junkrat. I think that was just a matter of them. They used their it's called Sonic something, and sound barrier, and that's what it is. Wow. And probably a fight win for the Cuppa here when they decide to use their beat.
Oh, Rude trying to save the day. And they might actually do that. They got the headshots, or they got the snipe on his Strudel. And they kill Fedora. They may fall in the process, but already some great damage coming in.
The martyrdom actually took out Rue from Fedora. Or Revenge, whatever it's called. Grenades. Death grenades.
I think you know more than me. I just think of it as, oh, person dies, bombs go pew pew.
Well,
Gold mentality, you gotta have it. Oh, Elko comes up big, catches both the supports for the Cuppa. Raz does manage to catch a trade from the sky, but Elko's timing there really saved the day. There's a window right in his face, and he just jumped the gun on that. Managed to catch two. And Toast again trying to be the hero on this point. Fedora's also going to pop the tire too, but doesn't really do enough damage. Doesn't find what is asked of him. Raz and Fedora with some very nice angles around the point. They're pumping in the damage, they're pumping in the mines, and Skyster pops the annihilation. But a counter beat comes in from Muffin Lumps, sustaining the team back towards this point, canceling out both ultimates, negating the damage found. And now it's a question of, can Toast and the rest of the couple find the contest on the point, find this touch? Raz goes in with a barrage. Fedora actually manages to find one, but Rue gets a nice headshot there. And Elko, same with him, but trades are even on both sides, and now the side of the Quails are down on their supports. They don't have anybody to keep the team alive, and Skyster's fairly low right now. Has the form in his back pocket, though. Fedora manages to catch Rue. It's just Elko and Skyster fighting for their life on the point, but Skyster finds the trade, and he's actually able to keep his HP up with the help of Seikana, who comes back, and the rest of the Quails. They manage to take this point, and they're on to the final objective.
yeah, not the outcome you want if you're the Cuppa here, but you know, you have to be adaptable here. I mean, obviously, you already went to switch to the Junkrat, but I think, yeah, the switch to the Curie is good here. You just gotta be more mobile against the comp that's just looking to single one person out and just kind of go all in on them.
For sure. And doing such a good job of this ult use for the Quails. You see a Blossom popped a bit early here. Doesn't find the kill, but finds a lot of damage. Fedora's coming in with another tire here. He's been getting very consistent damage. Wasn't able to find something with the last tire. But this time, wrapping all the way around the point, sitting down for a second, trying to find his target, and manages to catch Rue. So that's going to actually be a 1-for-1 trade, as Rue did find Strudel in the previous fight. Seikana, though, had the coalescence, kept the team alive, and caught Raz out of the air. They've been really good with those. And Toast hits the roll through. Wasn't able to find exactly what they needed there. They've just been stifled by this close range composition. The damage is just too much for them to handle right now. And in the process of trying to get Toast out, Muffin Lumps falls. So we're entering last fight territory for the Cuppa. And it's a very precarious position to be in. As Fedora falls too.
Yep. Oh, a nice trade onto Seikana, though. We'll see. I mean, you've got basically one fight left here from both sides and 3 ults from each, so it's gonna be hard.
A bit early from the mines. They get popped on the point. A beat used a bit later, so giving a bit of an early advantage to the Quails. And the Blizzard just dropped on top of that. Bit of a botched wall, but they already have the advantage in their favor. 2 picks already in favor of the Quails. It's just cleanup. Seiken has been so good with that. Multiple ults popped to Blossom and Annihilation. And an absolute domination on the final map. It was a great effort from the Cuppa. But the Quails take it home 3-2.
Ultimately, could not close it out with the year of the ball, but I mean, the still impressive comeback, even though they lost. You know, putting it up 3-2 when it was 2-0 initially, with maybe like 2 total fight wins from the Cuppa in those first 2 maps. And so you can't be too mad, I don't think, if you're the Cuppa there. I mean, you've got, if anything, you've got a nice new comp to stash in your back pocket for the future matches, should you run into trouble again in the early maps.
For sure. And now we gotta change the conversation. We gotta start talking about a match MVP for the Quails, as all of them leave. So we can't inform any of them of who the match MVP is.
Uh,
Um, and I'll see if we're even able to get them on. But who do you think should be match MVP for the Quantico Quails?
I want to go with Skycer, I think.
I would also love to hear from Skycer too. Let's see if we can get Skycer. Hi, Skycer. You are MVP. Would you like to join us? Smiley face. Sure. Okay. You want to move to Team with Ringer, maybe?
Sure. Oops.
I got him the link.
Hello.
Good morning, Winston, aka Skycer, aka Match MVP in week 2 for the Quantico Quails. Congratulations on your win. Give me your initial reactions from that match first, because I know you're just getting off it right now, and almost a reverse sweep. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it was a little stressful. I mean, we've we were down Prey, who is usually our dive DPS, and so dive is one of those things where you got to be like super coordinated, right? And we've just never really played with Rue on dive, so probably should have picked. If I should have thought about that when picking the map 4 and picked something more brawly instead of Gibby, the brawl map of all time, but worked out in the end. So fine.
Yeah, that's true. And honestly, I don't know how much you're gonna watch the cast, but we were very impressed with somebody you may know from the other team, Toast. Talk to me about how it was like playing against him on ball. Did you expect that? I mean, we definitely didn't. And what
Yeah.
was it like going about countering that individual?
I mean, uh, I'm just gonna call him Cheeto because that's what I know him as.
Sure.
As soon as I saw he was on tank, I knew he was gonna go ball. He was like on Sig the first fight of Blizzard Roll, and I was really surprised. I was like, that guy does not play Sig. Why is he on Sig? And it went a lot better for them as soon as he did go ball. But yeah, I mean, a lot of my job is kind of like not interacting with the ball. Like like it's not. We were trying to just like rotate away from him because they were on double hit scan and then ball. So like the fight plan was just to try and like not die to the ball and just like rotate away from him, and then we kill their backline because we have the better dive, And it just wasn't really working out because like we just weren't super coordinated because we've never scrim dive with Rue. Like the closest we've done is like venture dive on Samoa, but that's about it. So
Got it. And I will say, I definitely call this out. It looked a lot better on Jibby. I could see you were like definitely going through the growing pains of the coordination, but on Jibby it
yeah,
did feel like you were actually hitting coordinated dives, especially on that like second point defense. I know you guys didn't yourselves get to second point, but the coordination was definitely like getting there for you guys.
yeah,
So
yeah. We were just making it through each game. Hopefully we'll be able to scrim more. You know, we have not had the nicest availability these first 2 weeks, but I think overall availability should be fine. So yeah.
real. So talk to me about this agent thing. I know you're the Quantico Quails, but you got your entire team in on the team name. How have you been liking that? Have you been playing up the agent anywhere in Aurora Esports or anywhere in, I guess, your team comms?
No. I mean we haven't committed to the bit very hard. It's just
Okay,
funny. We're FBI agents, haha.
got it.
From Quantico. Yeah.
Okay, and then on that final map, when you ended up winning the first point, did you just like feel it going in your favor at that point in time? When did the comeback start to like when did the worry of the like reverse sweep start to dissipate?
Um, I mean, our team is pretty stable mental. I mean, we weren't too worried about it. Like we were never like freaking out or anything and like yelling at each other. Our team was pretty stable mental. Um, Like uh our comms got a little like slow, but also like half my team is sick. I was sick last week and I infected the other half of my team to be sick.
No way.
So so yeah, and then yeah. So the comms were a little bit slowed down a little bit, but like when we got to Brawl back on Rude's Comfort, like what we were all used to when we're playing with as those five, it got yeah, it was just easier.
Yeah. And then just because it's the first time we have you on the actual broadcast to talk about it, I'd actually love to chat a bit about the draft. Obviously, I think you went into that very, from what I heard, adamant about, picking up somebody like Elko. How did the rest of the picks pan out, and have you been happy with your team? Are you excited for, the development, and is there anything you guys think you can improve on?
Yeah. I mean, I'm super excited. Uh, I it went pretty as planned, you know. I was pretty set in stone on my backline as well, and then DPS options there was a little more, and it was just gonna be like kind of touch and go with whatever I could afford. Um, but I'm pretty happy with what I got because it ended up being like so there's me, Bailey and Say or Paradox and Say who are the NAU core
Yep.
from our summer team, and then we have the what's it called? And then we have Elko, Rue, and Cray, and they're not all on a team, but Cray and Rue are on a team together, and they're both supports players of the team. So I am off rolling both of them, but they're cool with it. And then Elko coaches that team, so it, yeah, it works out. There's a lot of it's very fun. The atmosphere is really nice. I'm a big fan. Um, Even when like we lose, like on Tuesday, on what's it called? On what day was it? Was it Friday? On Friday when we lost. Thursday, the environment was still good. Yeah, I'm super happy about it.
Nice. And I will say, you guys looked good in that game against the Purple Apes too. So I definitely see a very high upside to your team, and I'm excited for the future. Corey, do you have any questions before we move on to El Clasico?
Um, I I had a question, but it was answered by Skycer. I was gonna say that I noticed they were very coordinated, especially in their brawl comp. It seemed like they had been playing together for a while, and obviously that was answered by the multiple combos of people being on teams together earlier in the past. So I guess I can ask El Clasico. So if you were not the MVP but had to give it to someone else on your team, who would it be?
I'd say not just because she's my girlfriend, Rayleigh. She really kept up the comms when it was slowing down on the third and fourth map. Like got people back in gear. Um, Showed up while sick. It has been a cold going around our campus, which has not been very cool. I was bedridden for like 2 days, and was there at the end of it on the Thursday match. So I'd say Rayleigh kept up the comms, kept the energy motivated when we were down, and which stopped the reverse sweep. So yeah,
That's a very good choice. Something you don't really know, or you won't really be aware of, unless on the team. So thank you for bringing that up because it's a necessary component of a lot of, but a lot of people overlook that. I think. Ward, do you have anything else?
Nah, I'm all good. I am good to sign out whenever you are, Corey.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Alrighty, well, this was our first week 2 match for Aurora Esports, and the Quantico Quails took it 3-2 over the Chipped Cuppa. Another great match, and I'm very excited to see how this week and the rest of the season will continue on. But that's going to be all for us tonight. I was a caster Ward, joined alongside me, Corey and also Skycer for the end there. Corey clutch on the production and the casting as well. This guy's a very clutch in the match, obviously. But like I said, that's going to be all. Hope you all have a safe night, and we'll see you next time on Aurora Esports.